The biggest blockbuster trade in modern football history is no longer just a wild rumor. And a shocking package coming back might actually make this offense completely unstoppable, but that is absolutely nothing compared to the ultimate betrayal happening right now inside the locker room regarding Jalen Hurts. Before we dive in, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest NFL updates on the planet. Are we really about to witness the absolute greatest front office masterclass of the decade, or the most catastrophic disaster this franchise has ever seen? We need to talk about A.J. Brown because the landscape of the entire National Football League is shifting under our feet right now. For months, it felt like an absolute guarantee that A.J. was going to pack his bags and head straight to the New England Patriots. Everyone assumed it was a done deal, just a matter of waiting for the calendar to flip past June 1st for salary cap reasons. But the plot has taken an insane twist. New teams have suddenly crashed the party, and this is the absolute best-case scenario for Philadelphia. Think about it from a leverage standpoint. If only one team is sitting at the negotiation table, they dictate the price. They can lowball the general manager all day long. But the moment you have 2, 3, or 4 heavy hitters throwing their hats in the ring, you suddenly have a massive bidding war. You can force desperate teams to empty their pockets, and there is zero chance this organization is going to give away a generational wide receiver for pennies. Now, we are hearing that the Kansas City Chiefs are silently lurking in the shadows. The San Francisco 49ers are also reportedly picking up the phone to see what it would cost to bring him to the Bay Area. But there is another wild card team that has completely flipped the script, and they might actually have the ultimate golden ticket to make this trade happen. The Jacksonville Jaguars are officially entering the chat, and their involvement changes literally everything. Why? Because the Jaguars actually have a massive young star they could send back in return, completely blowing away any package of future draft picks the Patriots could offer. I'm talking about Brian Thomas Jr., a guy who looked like an absolute alien during his rookie season in 2024. He commanded a ridiculous 133 targets, hauling in 87 passes for nearly 1,300 yards. He was finding the end zone constantly, scoring 10 touchdowns and averaging almost 15 yards every single time he touched the football. You could easily argue he was the flat-out best rookie receiver in his entire draft class. But things took a bizarre turn in 2025. Even though the Jaguars had a phenomenal season and emerged as legitimate heavyweights in the AFC, Brian Thomas Jr. started visibly showing his frustration. He was not happy. His yards per catch stayed the same, but his touchdown numbers dipped and he started dropping passes. He voiced his massive displeasure with the situation down in Florida. Now, normally, bringing in a frustrated receiver might sound like a headache, but this kid is on a super cheap rookie contract, and his upside is completely off the charts. Just picture an offense rolling out Devonta Smith, Marquise Hollywood Brown, and Brian Thomas Jr. all on the exact same field. It would be a total nightmare for defensive coordinators. The sheer speed and route running ability would tear secondaries to shreds. Who's to blame for this massive trade drama getting so out of hand? Drop a name below. But wait until you hear the shady mind games New England is playing with their draft picks right now just to keep their lead in this race. Even with Jacksonville crashing the party, the Patriots are still the undisputed heavy favorites to land A.J. Brown. They are completely obsessed with the idea of pairing him with their young quarterback Drake May. May is locked into that cheap rookie contract for a few more years, which gives New England the financial freedom to pay a massive premium for a superstar pass catcher. They already went out and grabbed Romeo Doubs in free agency, so adding A.J. to the mix would give them a lethal combination. They know the window to win on a rookie quarterback deal is incredibly short, and they want to strike right now before they have to hand May a record-breaking contract extension down the road. However, the negotiation details leaking out right now are absolutely fascinating. The Patriots are reportedly terrified of trading away their 2027 first-round pick. Why? Because they are deeply afraid that the upcoming 2026 season is going to be a total disaster for them. Last year, they cruised through an incredibly soft schedule all the way to the Super Bowl, only to get completely dominated by the Seattle Seahawks on the biggest stage. History tells us that the team that loses the Super Bowl often suffers a massive hangover the following year. Combine that with the fact that their upcoming schedule is an absolute gauntlet of elite opponents, and the Patriots are bracing for a potential collapse. If they have a terrible season, that 2027 draft pick becomes incredibly valuable. It could end up being a top 10 or top 15 selection. They do not want to hand Philadelphia a premium lottery ticket. Instead, New England is trying to push the trade compensation back to a 2028 first-round pick. By then, their schedule softens up, they expect to be back on top, and that pick would likely fall all the way to the bottom of the first round. It is a brilliant chess move by their front office, but Philadelphia knows exactly what they are doing and is trying to use the Chiefs and Jaguars to force New England to cough up the better draft capital right now. But wait until you hear the unbelievable controversy surrounding another player Smith.
It really dictates the defense
about the franchise quarterback. While we're talking about New England, there's another highly intriguing name being tossed around as a potential trade piece. Kayshon Boutte is currently away from the Patriots, which is a massive red flag that he knows he is about to be traded. This kid has a crazy backstory. Back in college at LSU, he was universally projected to be a first or second round pick. But after a highly controversial and completely bizarre off-field scandal made headlines, his draft stock completely tanked. He fell all the way to the 6th round. His rookie year was quiet, but over the last 2 seasons, he has genuinely started to figure it out. Last year, playing directly behind Stephon Diggs, Bout put up solid numbers, catching 33 passes for over 500 yards and averaging nearly 17 yards per catch. Players around the league are starting to take notice. When veterans were asked at the Super Bowl who the next breakout star was going to be, multiple guys pointed directly at Bout. He has elite physical tools. He is entering the final year of his cheap rookie deal, and if Philadelphia trades for him, they could lock him up long-term before the wide receiver market completely explodes. It is a massive risk, but the reward could be astronomical. Now we need to address the absolute biggest elephant in the room, because a horrific betrayal has been unfolding behind closed doors. You all remember that massive national report a few weeks ago citing anonymous sources inside the building claiming that Jalen Hurts was, quote, uncoachable. It was a vicious attack on his character. It sent shockwaves through the fan base. Well, the absolute truth is finally coming to light, and that report was a total work of fiction. Scott Loeffler, the former quarterback's coach who spent all of last year in the trenches with Jalen, has officially stepped up to destroy this narrative. Loeffler was let go when the new offensive staff brought in their own guys, so he has literally zero reason to lie or cover up for the organization. He put his actual name on the record and delivered a massive reality check. Loeffler stated clearly that Jalen Hurts is highly coachable, a pure champion, and one of the hardest working human beings he has ever been around. He praised his intelligence, his relentless competitive drive, and his leadership. The idea that Jalen is uncoachable goes against literally every single piece of evidence we have seen since he entered the league. This is a coach's son. He is the ultimate culture builder. He refuses to accept mediocrity. He is obsessed with greatness. The fact that someone inside that building leaked a totally fake story to the media to tear him down is a complete disgrace. But instead of letting it ruin him, Jalen took immediate action. He actually spent time this off-season working out directly with Loeffler at the Temple University complex, fine-tuning his mechanics and sharpening his skills before the new coaching staff even arrived. Jalen Hurts remains one of the most unjustly criticized athletes in professional sports today. He has never been in an ounce of trouble. He never throws his teammates under the bus. He says all the right things and carries the weight of an entire city on his shoulders without a single complaint. Yet, the national media constantly looks for reasons to tear him down. It is pure insanity. But the real fans know the truth. This fake controversy is only going to pour gasoline on his fire. Jalen is going to take all of this disrespect, all of these anonymous leaks, and all of the doubt, and use it to absolutely dominate the 2026 season. We are looking at a man on a total revenge tour, and the rest of the league is not ready for what is about to happen.